Hey everybody, I'm Datwunguy, and I didn't want to remake a video for every single spec because that's 39 and that's a lot. But I did want to let you know that I did update all of the packs for Season 3 with the exception of some tier sets for some of them. I just didn't get a chance to test out all the tier sets on the PTR because I got sick. So I got behind on that. I didn't get to do it. So you may have to find someone else's Weakauras just for the tier set. If I can find out the spell IDs and the buffs and how it works, I can try to plug them in. I know someone's asking for a marksmanship hunter, so I'll try to get those things implemented. But no promises. I'm grinding and trying to get CE again. But the thing I did want to point out that is in every single pack now, literally every single pack you'll see if you have them all, is that I changed it to where, again, now it's just going to be the class pack instead of individual spec packs. As you'd see on Wago, I can go to that over here. It'll just be the class packs. I just uploaded and updated mine for all of them, but the individual class packs instead of individual spec packs, but they're all in there still. And it would look like if you got the mage one, this would be all in there because, again, Fire and Arcane can share Sun Fury, and Arcane and Frost share Spellslinger, and on that goes. So instead of, having some things that are duplicated because you downloaded a bunch of different stuff, I just made it as one big pack. But you will see utility and defensives for every single class now, all in that same spot. Right? As you load it up, everything will have utility and defensives. Some of them have a lot more utility than others, and same goes for defensives, but you'll see those in there. You can see the individual things that are being tracked, and you can kind of maneuver and manipulate them as you'd like. You can move the whole set, or I'd encourage you, like if you think those are too small, you go to this group scale right here, so on group tab, and you see group scale, and you can make them bigger or smaller as you'd like. I'm just going to leave it at 1, but that is how you could make any of those groups, any of the packs truly that have a group tab. You can scale it like that. And same thing for the position and size settings. You can move them left or right, with the X offset, and up and down is the Y offset. But every single pack I have updated for Season 3. I have added those utilities and defensives. There are still a few small things I need to add, like I know for Feral Druid I need to add in Predatory Swiftness, so that you can see when you have that available. I'll probably put it over here in this section of defensives somewhere so that you can see the icon be filled in with the color when it's available. Everything else I have been trying. I updated Frost DK. I have been trying to add more progress textures to indicate when something is or is not on cooldown. And what I mean by that is I'm hoping at least this has it. Yeah, so they changed Empowered Room Weapon for Frost DK. And so I made just 2 different little icons for it, like it or not. This is what you would see for those charges, and when they're not up, you would see, boop, there, a progress texture, right? A little circle. Some of them, I guess, unfill, right? Count down to let you know when the charge is available, and some of them go the opposite direction and fill back up to let you know when it's about to be available. So wherever I could, even for these larger visuals, wherever I could, I tried to add those just because I know that knowing when something's about to come up off cooldown or when you can expect it is helpful to your brain, rather than just knowing the moment it's come up and having to react to it. It's a little easier to anticipate things, or at least I found it that way. But if there were new abilities and things, I added them. Like I know Priest they changed how Epiphany works, so I added that in there. Like I said, some tier sets made it, some didn't. Some specs, their tier set just kind of changes something that already exists in them. But that's all I wanted to say, is that they all exist now. They're all updated for Season 3. They all have utilities and defensives because people ask for utilities and defensives. And also, just as kind of an example, if you're not sure what Weakauras are, you're not sure what my Weakauras are, but you just kind of stumbled on this video and for some reason you've watched it all the way through until now, one thing I wanted to show, just really quick, is what Blizz's game looks like without Weakauras, and why I think they're very important. And that is, I do think Blizz could enhance their gameplay a lot. I should make sure my spell opacity is on. Right. So if I'm going to try to play Arcane, this is Sun Fury Arcane. There is all I get for my clear casting, right? That's all I'm going to get. And I know I've cast Arcane Surge, right? And that's it. And away I go. This would mean I have Intuition. That's a nice new thing I never saw that they had. I might change that on my own. But I see I have my Barrage lit up, right? I don't know why. I can see I have, that's for Arcane Soul, right? This again, I would imagine, is for Intuition. Yep. Right? But like, I have no indication of how many Nether Precision stacks I have unless I look up here. There they are. That's how many stacks of Nether Precision I have, right? That's it. I don't know my cooldowns of things unless I look down here. And yeah, I'm playing incorrectly. Don't hurt me. I have Lay Drinker. I have a Lay Drinker buff, but I have no indication of that. Again, that's for Intuition. That's new. That's cool, right? Maybe I'll steal that. But other than that, look, I've got Burden of Power. You wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know. Glorious Incandescence I should have now, yeah, which means I can use Barrage and refill my charges, which they're down here. So their whole game, they give you some visuals, but other than that, you got to look up here or wherever you might have yours on the right. I put mine on the top left. You got to look at your buffs to know what your buffs are, and they're very important to how you play the game, all right? So that's what it would look like. I'm missing a cast bar. That's it. That's all I'm missing is a cast bar. That's the base visuals they give you. You saw clear casting. You saw Intuition, which is cool. I approve of that. I should probably do the same one. Mine looks a little different. And I'm used to that one now because I created it before an image for Intuition existed. And, you know, but Nether Precision, Lay Drinker, your charges of where you're building for Spellfire Spears, your Glorious Incandescence or Burden of Power, none of that. You don't know any of that. So then, opposite, turn it back on. I think, again, you get these, no, right? But when you enter combat, you see the rest of the stuff. So, that was my cast bar. Evocation showing me how many charges of arcane missiles I have instead of just a solid bar where you are unsure of how many that is. This tells me I have one. This tells me how many arcane charges I have. This is things building towards Aether Attunement, Touch of the Magi, Arcane Surge. There's my Arcane Orb charges. That red dot at the top, that was a Lay Drinker buff. Those are your Nether Precision charges, right? Oh, there's my Intuition, is that on the inside. And it turns white when it's about to expire. Burden of Power, right? Glorious Incandescence. This tells me I'm an Arcane Soul. Again, I made that before they had this image up top. And then if you see, again, this counts up to 3. The thing I changed, there we go, Glorious Incandescence, Burden of Power, Glorious Incandescence, turns white when it's about to expire. The thing I changed or added to mine is it turns a dark pink when you're capped, when you have max number of charges. The other thing it'll do is turn purple when it's going to do that Aether Attunement and do the missiles to everything, right? So yes, this is a little bit of intro into the arcane stuff, but really I'm just showing, and maybe someone from Blizzard will watch this, that's a pipe dream of mine. Really I'm just showing like how much more information they can provide that's absolutely necessary to how to play a spec, right? Without having to check your bars or check your buffs. Like I don't have to look at these down here, they're just there because I'm just used to the game having them, but otherwise I don't need that anymore, right? And there's a charge of Lay Drinker that you wouldn't know you had unless you looked up here. The only thing it tells you is if you have clear casting or not, Intuition and Arcane Soul. And then you can look at your character for your number of charges. But like the game is happening here. And the only places you can look to get information about the game is not at the game and not at the game, right? But your eyes can and should be here, much like any other heads-up display in a video game. So I'm hoping, one, if you don't play with Weakauras and you don't know what they are, that's what they are, and that's why I think you should play with them, is it can really just visually enhance you playing the game. And I know for me it's helped a lot because I can know everything I need to know and still stare at my character and not stand in stuff. But two, it's just like you need that. Sorry, I'm gonna stutter and stammer, but I feel like you need those things, right? You need to know what's going on with your character. You need to have that information so that you can play your spec better rather than just kind of guessing at what button to push. You know, like just the core of Arcane is Arcane Missiles gives you 2 stacks of nether precision, and you spend both before casting missiles again. But there's nothing that happens on your screen to let you know that you've gotten anything new. And that's how it is for every other spec. All 39 of them gonna be 40 with the new Demon Hunter spec. I'll have to make Weakauras for that one when it comes out. But that's how it is for all 39, soon to be 40 specs. There's just not enough information on your screen as like a heads-up display to actually immerse you in the game and let you play. You either have to get icons like that, or just hope and pray that you know what you're doing. But I really hope that they'll implement something like that just as part of the base game. And maybe put it in edit mode so that you can scale, resize, move, maybe even change the colors of them if you want to. Like I think that would be great. That's it. I just want to let you know I've updated my stuff. Why you should use Weakauras. Hopefully why Blizz will do something like that in game, so that you don't have to add an add-on and download these yourself from a website. It's just something that's built into the game. I'd offer my own 2 cents if they need it. If they need some help on that kind of stuff, I'm here. But other than that, again, I've got a bunch of packs. You saw them all. If you have questions about them, you can comment on YouTube. I will link. I think I'll try to put like my Discord username, so you can also DM me there. It'll probably come through as a request though, so it'll be reliant upon me noticing if I've got a request or not. Other than that, I hope you enjoy all of these and have fun.